So a quick recap then on this down team and that forward line in particular. We're really looking forward to seeing how Ross Carr, Greg Bainey, Mickey Linden and James McCartan will make out. And Kerry there, maybe thinking about a switch or two, because I noticed that Connie Murphy has gone in corner back straight away on Mickey Linden, and Sean Burke has gone centre half back. Well, it's been a busy weekend for Tommy Howard. He refereed yesterday's Leinster final, now taking charge of this All-Ireland semi-final this afternoon. I suppose that's what you could call a productivity deal. So Kerry makes some switches in defence. Tell you a little bit more about them in a moment, as Down win themselves the first free and Barry Breen the one who'll take it, chipping it forward. Tom Spillane racing forward with Peter Whitnell. Whitnell had played here a couple of years ago in the London colours in a junior final against Meath. Tipped away and fed on from James McCartan to Peter Whitnell. Taken to ground, however, and Stephen Stack wonders why the free was given. Should have been pretty obvious.
Bad mistake by Tom Spillane. Should have kicked that sideline ball long, especially as he had the wind with him, but put his own man under pressure and gives an easy point to settle down at the start.
So this then to settle the down team. Ross Carr will be the free taker. He'll take most of the frees from the right hand side, kicking them with the left boot, and Gary Mason will do the opposite on the other side. That's crept in neatly, and Down enjoyed the lead. Referee going back to have a quick word with the umpire back there. Something he may have spotted, and he's racing across now to have a word with maybe Kieran Culhane. Culhane is playing right half back, marking Gary Mason. So Connie Murphy left corner back, Sean Burke centre back, and the two wing backs Culhane and Nix. Eamon Burns. Paddy O'Rourke here, heading it forward towards Whitnell. Just trying to keep that movement alive. Greg Blaney. An electric atmosphere in Croke Park as he plays it inside. It's cut out by Stephen Stack. Tom Spillane, the kick into the centre towards his brother Pat. That's Brendan McKiernan there going across, marking the shoulder by Eamon Burns. A little pile-up developing, and the referee signalling that it's going to be a free in for Kerry. Eamon Burns, the one who is operating in the centre of the field alongside Barry Breen. Kieran Culhane operating at right half, the free taker. Good long lengthy ball down towards Nola Mahoney, who's moved inside there, but nobody able to contain it.
Kerry have obviously decided that Mickey Linden is the danger man, because putting back Connie Murphy is robbing the centre of one of their best players from the Munster final.
It's a position that Connie Murphy has played in before. I think in fact he won an all-star playing in that position. As Nix plays it down, Conor Deegan, the fullback, cutting it out ahead there of Maurice Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, a highly valued member of this Kerry team. They'll surely need his kicking strength. Burns against Jack O'Shea. Fed forward to DJ Kane. And the race across there by Gary Mason and Kieran Culhane. Taken to the unmarked Pat Spillane. Belting it highly and hopefully, but outside and wide. The second wide in for Kerry. There's a rapidly taken sideline ball down to Pat Spillane.
And from these positions in the past, Pat Spillane invariably kicked points, but he hasn't been scoring as much in this year's championship as before, and he puts it outside the right-hand post.
Jack O'Shea has moved in from left half forward in towards the midfield. Blaney to Mason. Down looking for another score. On to Mickey Linden. He's got great pace. Carrying it right into the heart of the Kerry defence. A little chip, however, it's outside and wide. That was a very well-created move by Mickey Linden. He really had the beating of the Kerry defence.
Yes, and we see the reason why they put Connie Murphy out on him, but he slipped Connie Murphy very easily, and he should have stuck it over the bar, but I think it was Tom Spillane coming out fast and put him off.
So Charlie Nelligan's kick out towards Nola Mahoney in the middle. Collected well. Fed onto his partner, Ambrose O'Donovan. He was looking outside and towards Morgan Nix, but that's James McCartan nipping in there. On towards the middle centre, and that's Blaney. Oh, it's come off the crossbar. From a great pass from Mickey Linden to Greg Blaney. A terrific shot by Greg Blaney.
Down are putting a lot of pressure on the Kerry backs, and Ambrose O'Donovan gets caught in possession. When Greg Blaney gets inside the challenge of Tom Spillane, he had another man inside with him, and should have put it away from that distance, and very fortunate let off for Kerry.
So just 1 point on the scoreboard so far, that from a free by Ross Carr. 6 minutes gone. Pat Spillane feeding it on there. Well, with Timmy Fleming, this is Pat Spillane. Trying to go around the man in the corner there, Paul Higgins. Holding it up well. Carr Dennehy. Back to Jack O'Shea. Gathered brilliantly by the goalkeeper Neil Collins. Super catch. Greg Blaney once again taking up a very intelligent position. McKiernan. Cut out here by Tom Spillane, but they're applying the pressure early and on, often on the Kerry backs. Linden again, trying to make amends for the one that went off the post a little while ago. Timmy Fleming, wearing number 15, but way back in a left corner back position. Nola Mahoney can't cut it out. It's gone to Mason. Support from Barry Breen. Tom Spillane having difficulty containing Whitnall, and it's on towards Linden, and he's taken down, and it's a penalty. A penalty for down. What a dramatic start to this match. No question about it, Colm, I think.
Down forwards causing all sorts of problems with the Kerry backs, and the ball goes in. Tom Spillane just gets there to punch, doesn't get a clean punch, and then when it breaks inside, it's a race, and of course Linden is the fastest man around, and he just gets there a fraction in front of Charlie Nelligan, and Charlie takes him out of a definite penalty.
This from behind or from the other angle here.
Yes, but the ball breaks inside, and of course the pace of the down forwards means that Mickey Linden is able to get in faster than anybody else, and even though Charlie Nelligan is just out, he's just a fraction late and takes the man.
So Mickey Linden placing the ball in the 8th minute of the first half. Charlie on his goal line. Well, they already look like they've settled down well, this down team. This would really settle down the nerves. Referee just getting everybody back the requisite distance. Linden keeping his concentration, continuing to look at the goal. He's put it wide. Mickey Linden and Charlie Nelligan smiles. A release of tension, certainly.
And that's a bad blow for down. Mickey Linden is normally a very reliable penalty taker, but not only kicks it wide, but a long way wide, and it's a real let off for Kerry. Down have had them under pressure for 10 minutes, but have only one score on the board for all the pressure they have had on the Kerry defence.
The history of the All-Ireland series is, I'm afraid, littered with Ulster teams who've come here, got penalties and missed them. Nola Mahoney. A let off for Kerry. They respond quickly. John Cronin playing it inside towards Maurice Fitzgerald. Can they score at the other end? They have! No! Just kept out somehow. Still pressing forward. Jack O'Shea. Pat Spillane. Well, that was a let off for down. Now it's Timmy Fleming. belting in, held with some difficulty and lost off the post again. Maurice Fitzgerald was out of luck. That's Pa Dennehy, and the referee signalling that it's going to be a free out for Down, who were in trouble twice in that last couple of attacks. Ooh, Neil Collins with a touch of the jitters.
An amazing series of let-offs for Down. First of all, Maurice Fitzgerald gets through, loses control, but flicks the ball as Neil Collins comes out to him, hits the bar. Neil Collins gets his hand to it and up against the crossbar. A lucky let-off.
Gary Mason kicking from the sideline. James McCarthy trying to steal inside. It comes back to Whitnell trying to set up the chance for Linden. It was well marked. This is Whitnell, and that's the goal at last. A beautifully created, beautifully taken goal by Peter Whitnell. 10 minutes gone. He didn't score in the Ulster final, but he's made his presence well and truly felt. What a super goal. Initially he played it onto Linden. It was
well,
really well marked.
The goal that has been threatening for a long time has finally arrived. Well played by Peter Whitnell inside, but gets the rebound and with his left foot puts it away. Not as well known as the other two members of that full forward line, but still capable of scoring.
A dramatic opening to this game. Timmy Fleming. Kerry yet to score, remember. Maurice Fitzgerald there against Conor Deegan. Referee going in there to ensure that the free kick can be taken. A sliding challenge. And Fitzgerald, of course, was down with a bout of the flu in the middle of the past week, so hopefully he's fully recovered.
This shows the versatility of Maurice Fitzgerald as a free taker, kicking with his left foot, even though he normally kicks with his right.
Down off the post. Potsbalan in the follow-up action has put it over the bar for Kerry's first point. And it's taken the Grandmaster himself, Potsbalan, to record that score. Well, these spectators have seen the wood and the woodwork at both ends, crossbar and post struck so far. 6'2" tall, Neil Collins. Jack O'Shea touching it down towards Timmy Fleming. John Kelly is the down man. Inside towards Rosscar. Down with the free. Morgan Nix is warned by referee Tommy Howard. Towards Greg Blaney. Just looking up to see what the options are. One of them is Mickey Linden pulling away to the right. Burns has come racing through on his inside. This is Eamon Burns against the other midfielder, Nolan Mahoney. Right on the end line to Whitnell, looking for goal number 2. Closed down. And finally it's easy for Charlie Nelligan to pick it up. Sean Burke. Well, that Kerry defence was well and truly tested against Limerick, and it's been tested again this afternoon. A good down forward line. Rosscar taking the free very quickly. Cross to DJ Kane, who's moved up from left half. Pumping it in, but putting it wide. Down with 2 wides, Kerry with 3.
Of course, Kerry are playing with a significant wind advantage at the moment, so if Down can keep this pace up to half-time, they'd be happy enough to be in front playing against the wind.
Seems to me the breeze is about the same as it was yesterday, Colin, for that Leinster final.
Yes, and it's always a bigger advantage close to the railway goal. Up near the canal goal, the wall at the back tends to block it a bit.
The 11th free kick in this match. Conor Deegan. Up to Paddy O'Rourke. Unmarked, so a chance to make a bit of headway. Linden freely moving away from the corner to Greg Blaney. Challenged by Burke. The foul resulting in a down free kick.
I think Kerry would be better off if they went back to Connie Murphy marking Greg Blaney and maybe Sean Burke and Mickey Linden, because the way things are at the moment anyway, both of the players that were changed are getting a bit of a roasting from the down forwards.
So, as we mentioned earlier, from the left-hand side of the field, it's going to be the right-footed Gary Mason who will kick it. Down leading by 3 points already. Once again, an attack of the jitters. It just looks a little bit nervous early on. Kerry leaving just 2 men in their full forward line at the moment. Maurice Fitzgerald has been brought out to a right half forward position. Kerry then depended upon John Cronin and Pa Dennehy up front. Poor kick by Nolan Mahoney. Belted back in towards Mickey Linden. There against Connie Murphy. Backup support coming from James McCartan if he wants to use it, to his right. Still Linden getting free, chance for a score, and he's kicked a very nice one. First point of the match then for Mickey Linden.
And even though Linden jumped for that ball with the back, he was still the first man to get to the breaking ball afterwards and turn and kick it over with his left foot.
Charlie Nelligan today playing in a 10th All-Ireland football semi-final. Gary Mason claiming that one. Again, Whitnell making a good run across towards his left-hand side. Is followed over there by Tom Spillane, who's supported by Stephen Stack. Somehow gathered by DJ Kane, who slipped initially. Connie Murphy can't hold it, but he was pushing. So Mickey Linden wins himself the free. But so many down teams have come to Croke Park for the semi-final, and Ulster teams generally with big reputations, great expectations as well on them, but this afternoon Down justifying that degree of favouritism so far. We've only got 17 minutes of play. Ross Carr kicked the first point of the match. This about 22 metres out. He's put it wide. Remember, he kicked 9 points in the replay of the Ulster semi-final against Derry. Wasn't quite at his best against Donegal. And the switch that Colin O'Rourke was talking about, I think, is being effective, because Connie Murphy is being brought back to the half line, and he's now gone up to mark Gary Mason, and they've moved Kieran Culhane back, and Vicky O'Sullivan is told off you go by Tommy Howard. So the smiling Charlie Nelligan, watching his defence being restructured somewhat to meet the down challenge. Jack O'Shea racing for it with DJ Kane. Quick look up to see what's on. Todd Denny had moved out for it. The pressure being applied by Timmy Fleming all the way on Paddy O'Rourke. Needing assistance. Ooh. And that's gone wide. But it's going to be a free in, because the referee had noted the push on the Kerry attacker. Just as Paddy O'Rourke was in need of some support.
Well, Timmy Fleming does a good job in putting Paddy O'Rourke under pressure there, and when the ball comes out, I don't know what the free is for, because it does appear as if the ball was picked off the ground.
Maurice Fitzgerald, and they reach for the white flag for his first point of the afternoon, the first of what they hope will be many. So a goal separating the teams. Neil Collins here, following in the footsteps of Pat Donnan and Declan Murdoch. A very wild kick out, with the wind not helping it, no doubt. At the other end, that's the new pairing now, Kieran Culhane against Mickey Linden. Chest tie it's taken there by Maurice Fitzgerald, distributed nicely to Ambrose O'Donovan. Watched all the way in there by Pa Dennehy and John Cronin. Cronin against O'Rourke. Number 4 there is Paul Higgins. Dennehy, who was man of the match against Cork in the Munster semi-final, winning Kerry the free. DJ Kane explaining that it was, from his point of view, a legitimate shoulder. Man with a giant-sized heart, the manager says, Mickey Sullivan. So Maurice Fitzgerald once again under the watchful gaze there of Pete McGrath, the down manager. Some jeering, as you'll gather, in the background from down supporters. But it doesn't seem to put Maurice Fitzgerald off his concentration. Very assured kicking, and a second point for Maurice Fitzgerald just to peg back that gap, and it's now nearly a 2-point difference.
Yes, and again, that unique skill that Maurice Fitzgerald has of being able to kick frees with both feet.
Andres O'Donovan, seeing that Nola Mahoney was in some difficulty, went back that time, but it's down possession, picked off the ground, picked up by Eamon Burns. Those were a great traditional club there, Bryansford in County Down. Once played in the club final back in 1971, I think, against East Kerry. Ooh, a high challenge. Greg Blaney on towards Linden. Culhane in some difficulty. Stack trying to get goal side there. It's fed back to Mickey Linden from James McCartan, comfortably gathered by Charlie Nelligan. Nola Mahoney, basketball star as well as Gaelic football star. Connie Murphy now in a changed role. Pat Spillane taking the shoulder from DJ Kane, getting by Craig Blaney. Gathered here by Barry Breen. Lofting it forward towards Mickey Linden once again. Been given a lot of space right now by Kieran Culhane. Able to set up chances, and it's taken neatly in his stride by DJ Kane. And the referee, I think, has whistled up, not allowing the advantage, as Tom Spillane acknowledges to referee Tommy Har that it was his error. And Tommy wants a little bit more action than that. He's going to issue the lecture. That's the move.
Well, again, Mickey Linden is causing a lot of the problems there. Got a lot of space. DJ Kane got inside and Tom Spillane took him out of it. It wasn't a particularly dangerous tackle.
Tom Spillane then getting back. It's in front of Charlie Nelligan to offer his assistance. Ross Carr will be kicking. Missed one or two. And this one gets inside. Nice to deliver for his second point this afternoon. Once again, a goal separating the teams. Down having led from the outset of this game, which is now in its 23rd minute. A switch that Kerry regularly make in the championship. Jack O'Shea has gone in full forward and Maurice Fitzgerald's come out. It's a move they regularly make for 5 or 6 minutes, often with great profit. Gary Mason against John Cronin. Looking it forward nicely, delivered from James McCartan on towards Eamon Burns. Scramble for possession, Greg Blaney now. Mason once again, getting by the challenge there of Connie Murphy. The industrious Mickey Linden into the centre. Nicely cut away, however, by Morgan Nix. Ooh, showing the downman a little bit of it, and then flicked it away, but rather aimlessly. Looked very assured that time, Morgan Nix. No great accuracy in the final delivery. Darted infield towards Greg Blaney, fisted away by Sean Burke towards the aforementioned Maurice Fitzgerald, back there now in front of his own 20-metre line. Followed by John Kelly, takes the free himself quickly to Timmy Fleming. It's a dead ringer for Pat Spillane. Jack O'Shea. Intending to feed that one back, I think, for Maurice Fitzgerald, but opting to hold on instead. See what comes of it. What comes of it is going to be a down free for overcarrying. Disappointed look on the face of Jack O'Shea, experienced campaigner. Player has achieved so much through an illustrious career. Conor Deegan, the free taker, towards Mickey Linden. He's very much the target. They favour his corner at all times, if at all possible. Burke. put under pressure successfully. And it's going to be possession back with the Ulster champions, who are leading the Munster champions by double scores at the moment, 1-3 to 3 points. Spillane trying to nurse that one away from Peter Whitnell, hoping it might go wide. Hull pokes it away only as far as Greg Blaney. Once again trying to look up and play it to a colleague inside as he continues his run. Linden's available, and that's tailed away. For a moment it looks like it was on his way, but the end, the breeze definitely carried it. And down injured, that's Greg Blaney, I think. Or is no, it's Peter Whitnell.
Another very good chance of a point for Down. Greg Blaney was being pulled by the jersey there. When he gets it back to Mickey Linden, he has a go with his left foot, but the wind is carrying the ball across the canal goal and it goes wide there on the left hand side. But Down can't be satisfied with the amount of scores they have, considering they have been more or less totally in control of the first half.
Down's medical officer is Dr. John Gribben. So the ankle then receiving some attention, the magic bottle as well being utilised by the physio. Kerry scored a goal in his debut, which was at Porky Creed against Cork. There's the mark on the leg. That debut back last October. Kerry also played soccer with Bangor and Chimney Corner. I think it was on the books of Coleraine before Pete McGrath signalled his intentions to include him in the Down team. Mickey Ned, as they call him, Mickey Ned O'Sullivan, Kerry manager. I'm sure he's feeling the pressure that his team is feeling. Kane towards Greg Blaney, transferred rapidly to DJ Kane. A feature of the first half, they don't hang about. Pat Spillane, a terrific interception and a fine run forward. He's made a good 40 yards. Towards Jack O'Shea. Jack transferring it back towards Ambrose O'Donovan. Kerry needing a score, keep neatly in touch, and that they've got. 3 men involved in a lovely attack, and Ambrose O'Donovan acknowledging what a good move it was. One of the best points of the game so far. Simple, yet brilliantly executed.
Down overdoing the short passing a little bit, but it was an absolutely brilliant interception by Pat Spillane, and a great ball into Jack O'Shea, who was standing behind his man first and then came for the short ball, give it back to Ambrose O'Donovan, and an easy point, a great point for Kerry to get.
It means there are just 2 points between the teams. So as the sun once again makes its appearance here at Croke Park, Timmy Fleming attacking, goes down by Ross Carr and Conor Deegan. Free kick for the foul by Deegan, and it'll be Maurice Fitzgerald who will take the free. So a chance now to show his versatility with the right boot. Quite an ambitious kick. I wonder will he go for a point or up to lob it, and he's going for a point, and he struck it superbly. 1 point is the margin. Maurice Fitzgerald has got a 3rd point from a free, and the Kerry fans salute what is a magnificent kick. A huge distance out, and that's the position. Kerry very firmly on their way back, thanks to the kicking skills of Maurice Fitzgerald, and the Down defence will have to be more disciplined. They can ill afford to give away scoring chances with a player like Fitzgerald about. Conor there, Conor Deegan there, the Down full-back in need of a drink of water from the magic bottle.
Kerry have dragged themselves back into the game with a couple of nice points, and there's a lesson for the Down backs not to be fouling within 50 yards.
Down making a change in their half-back line. Pat Spillane has been marked now by DJ Kane right in the centre, and Paddy O'Rourke's gone across left half-back. Timmy Fleming punching it on towards Jack O'Shea, who sneaked inside the full-back. Conor Deegan, a goal chance, he's put it wide. It was a terrific run by Jacko. Conor Deegan was beaten for pace.
Ball came in here from Sean Burke, and the Kerry are going through a very good patch at the moment. Lands inside and is punched on there by Timmy Fleming right into the path of Jack O'Shea, who's going straight through, and holds off Conor Deegan, and from about 12 yards out puts it badly wide.
Kerry now fighting for the ball in midfield. Noel O'Mahony, more influential at this stage, taking the transferred pass back from Jack O'Shea. Blocked down brilliantly, however, by Gary Mason. Picked up here in the centre by Ambrose O'Donovan. Fed outside by Pat Spillane. Referee says play away. The ambitious kick by Spillane, going to the right. Tailing away to be Kerry's 5th wide of the first half, equalling Down's tally so far. So 5 minutes to go to half-time. An intriguing semi-final. I'm sure they're enjoying it.
Kerry going through a period of dominance at the moment. For a while there around the middle of the field, you think Down had an extra man. Now it's Kerry's turn to seem to have men everywhere.
Barry Breen has that one fisted away by Noel O'Mahony. Kerry opting to fist the ball down in midfield, and they're good at picking up the loose play as it comes back now. Oh, challenge there, a hefty challenge indeed on Timmy Fleming. John Cronin wanted to take it quickly. Fleming certainly felt the effects of that hefty challenge. Member of last year's all-conquering Kerry under-21 team. So Maurice Fitzgerald has this chance to put the teams level. Very assured kicking once more, and so the sides are level with just about 4 minutes to go to half-time. Down, who looked superior in the first 15 minutes, have now largely surrendered possession in midfield. A problem area for them just now. Kerry taking their chances. Fisted away again by Noel O'Mahony in midfield.
Pat Spillane getting the better of DJ Kane there, who has been marking him in that switch with Paddy O'Rourke out to the wing.
Conor Deegan, the fullback, gone across to take the line ball. And he reaches Sean Burke. Up to Jack O'Shea, who was unmarked momentarily. Transferred back to Maurice Fitzgerald. Kerry has not been in front of this game so far. Can this be the moment? It is. A 5th point for Maurice Fitzgerald, the first from play, and Kerry go into the lead by 7 points to 1-3. The Down fans, probably in a majority here at Croke Park, I'm sure rocked by the last few minutes. What's happened to their team, they're wondering.
Conor Deegan badly caught there, about 30 yards away from Jack O'Shea when that ball came down. Even though Paddy O'Rourke, I could see him from here shouting at him to cover off, and it left for an easy point for Maurice Fitzgerald.
The referee at the other end of the field consulted his 2 umpires, and going across now with the notebook to take the name of Kieran Culhane. So the Ballylongford player becomes the first man to be booked in what's been a very entertaining contest so far. Referee here used his umpires well yesterday. And Mickey Linden is also going to have his name included in the little black book. I'll just assume it's a little black book. So 2 names taken, and play can continue with a kick out from the opposite end. Seeing what is now a sun-drenched Croke Park. Pat Spillane fetching magnificently. Really doing well against DJ Kane, as you said earlier, Colm O'Rourke.
Yes, a surprising move that to have DJ Kane and Pat Spillane. I would have assumed that Paddy O'Rourke at centre-back would be a stronger man all round to play on Pat Spillane. This free from 60 yards too is very much within range for Maurice Fitzgerald with the win.
They lead by 1, remember. Has it got the distance? It had the distance, but not quite the range. So just about a minute then to go to half-time, and that's a reminder of the scoreline. Down, I'd imagine, will be hoping now to stay as close as possible. Just 1 point between them would probably suit them with the breeze at their backs for the second half. And there was a jersey pull that time on DJ Kane, so it's going to be a free from where the ball lands. Greg Blaney taking it quickly towards Mickey Linden, losing his balance. Fought it away by Kieran Culhane. Kerry get the free. Sean Burke towards Jack O'Shea. Well, he was being held, the referee decides. Jack O'Shea now being marked by Conor Deegan. Carl Dennehy thought that he might be in with an opening that time. Paddy O'Rourke telling everybody just to cool it down. So Kerry have a free kick as the game ticks towards injury time in the first half. And this can put 2 points between the teams.
And down for all the football they have played, now find themselves going in at the break a couple of points behind probably with this free, when they could have been 4 or 5 points up with the number of goal chances that they created.
Curled in. Does it curl insufficiently? No, it's gone wide. A costly miss. And when you consider that the wind is quite an influential one and it'll be behind and supporting down for the second half, they really needed more than 1 point, you feel, at half-time. So is that 1 point lead going to be sufficient? Neil Collins kicks out at the end of the first half, which was largely entertaining, featuring a goal for Peter Whitnell after 10 minutes. Down certainly looked a superior force at that stage, but through the kicking skills of Maurice Fitzgerald, they've come back with a vengeance, Kerry. 5 points in all has been his tally at the end of the first half, which Kerry go in leading by 1. It's Kerry 7 points, down 1-3.
Yes, and we're still a long way from knowing who's going to be into the All-Ireland final out of this particular match. We'll be discussing that first half with Donal O'Grady and Paddy Cullen right after the commercial break. Don't go away. Welcome back to Croke Park again. So at half-time in the senior match, Kerry leading down by that single point, and at the moment the crowd here, which is largely a down support, it must be said, are being entertained by the young children of the national schools from all over the country and giving an exhibition of the skills that we are sure will grace Croke Park again at some stage in the future when these players are all a little bit older. Well, let's look back then on that first half with Paddy Cullen and with Donal O'Grady, our 2 guests in the studio here. Paddy, an interesting first half to say the very, very least of it.
Yeah, interesting. Plenty of woodwork stuff. But Down played copybook football. They were tight at the back, they hunting the breaks in the middle of the field, getting the ball in quick to the forwards. Everything was perfect except they didn't put it on the scoreboard. Kerry were in 6s and 7s at the back. Greg Blaney was doing an awful lot of damage. Then Kerry got on top. I think Down lost a bit of concentration and Kerry have come back into it. Then there is a strong breeze there, which we can't forget about either. But I think Down, should have, 7 points more on the board. Yeah. Missing a penalty as well. So, it's going to be, as you say, it's nobody's game and it's everybody's game. So who's going to win? I don't know. I still say Kerry.
All right, Donal O'Grady, let's have a look at this goal for Down, because they threatened this for so long. Eventually it did come for them.
Yeah, the Peter Whitnell punched the ball and a Mickey Linden lovely tap back, and he stuck away in the corner. Great goal. And at that stage, Down were flying and it looked as if they were going to run all over Kerry, but things didn't turn out that way.
Yeah, it was no surprise to us, mind you, it has to be said that Down were going to be like this in attack, because we made this point before the match that if the forwards got the supply of ball, that they certainly have the talent to do it.
Well, their full forward is very busy. They're very fast off the mark and they were giving the Kerry rearguard a terrible time. But they stopped all of a sudden. The half-backs had to come up, began to play short ball, and really they should have pumped everything into the full forward in Eichel. But they began to stop, play around the middle, and bit by bit, as Paddy said, Kerry came back into it.
Well, Paddy, as you know from experience yourself down through the years, Kerry don't lie down to anybody. Mind you, they needed something to lift them in the game at that stage, and they got it from Maurice Fitzgerald, who's scored some fabulous points.
He has, yeah.
This one in particular.
This one is brilliant. I mean, he's up against the wire. Talk about going to the wire. This is a brilliant point. 5 yards from the sideline.
And the thing that struck us when he was taking that ball, that there was no fluke about this. I mean, he looked up, he saw those posts, he wanted that point, and by golly, he went and got it.
He's very accurate both left and right, but that was a crucial point at a crucial time in the game, and that's the winning and losing the games.
And talking about Maurice Fitzgerald, he has missed a few over the last few minutes, but it must be pointed out that Maurice has gone into this game feeling ill because he's had a virus during the week which will affect him.
Yeah, probably will, but he's doing all right. I wish I had a virus and play like that. He's doing well.
Donald, we've talked about the first half, but let's take a look at the second half and what we might expect in this. Now, Down have seen a situation where they've played most of the football and are a point down, so where do they go from here?
Well, I think that they'll have to tighten up a bit at the back, cut out any little silly mistakes. They give away 4 or 5 silly frees, and they had little things like the full-back taking line ball and leaving his man completely unmarked in front of the goal, which cost them a point. DJ Kane went up the field, gave a ball straight to Kerry, man, they can only got a point. They'll have to do the simple things very well and be as tight as Kerry as they were in the first 10 minutes and fight like tigers like they did at that stage.
Well, it's an intriguing situation that we look forward to in the second half of that match. It's a second half that you will see after this commercial break, so stay with us for that. The team is back out for the second half here at Croke Park, so obviously both sides making full use of the time available to them at half-time to discuss their tactics for the second half and figure it all out. A great buzz, Paddy Cullen, going around the ground here at the moment amongst the supporters, wondering what to expect in this second half. Surely Kerry will look at a situation now where they've got a pasting early in this game. They've steadied themselves to lead by a point at half-time, so they must fancy their chances as they come back out.
Yeah, I think Kerry will settle down a bit better now. I still think Down have the ability, but Kerry have an awful lot more experience, I think, in those key men and the key areas. And they've settled and they believe now they can win.
Joel, by contrast, Down now perhaps will have a little bit of a doubt over their own ability going into the second half. But if they can steady themselves again, I mean, they could win this game by 9 or 10 points.
Well, I think what you said there really, Michael, it hits the nail on the head, because they got a lot of ball and they didn't take that extra little second to steady themselves, which would have been crucial. Now, it depends on what we said at half-time, but if the manager can settle them down and tell them, take their time and look at the situations and play the good ball rather than giving the ball away fast as they did in the first half, they could be in there very well, and I expect them to do well in the second half.
Joel, we just saw 2 men going to a shot there, Liam Austin and Ambrose O'Donovan, or Ambrose Rogers, I should say, 2 men that Down may call on in the second half if they are needed. There is a sub on the Kerry team. Let's get information about that as we go back to Ger Canning and Colm O'Rourke.
We're looking at Jack O'Connell, who's been introduced by... not Jack O'Connell, it's Dom O'Line, I should say. Dom O'Line, who's been introduced, number 19, by Kerry for this second half from Castle Island Desmonds. A marking job required, obviously. And an interested spectator, a colleague, Michael O'Hare, sports commentator, of course. And I think Michael, in fact, made his debut as a commentator, doing an All-Ireland football semi-final. I think a match in Mullingar. Good to see him here. Reminder then of the score at the start of the second half. Kerry 7 points, Down 1-3. Just checking to see who the player gone off is. The second half starts with Dommy Line then in the Kerry defence. Ambrose O'Donovan towards Jack O'Shea. I wonder, did Connie Murphy come out for the second half? We look around their defence, don't see him. Connie had an ankle injury going into this game, and he may very well be the one who's been replaced by Dommy Line. Dom O'Line. So it's Maurice Fitzgerald. Breeze blowing across diagonally, if anything, at this stage. From right to left as he faces up to the kick. Quite allowing for that breeze, it seems. So Kerry's 8th wide in all. So the midfield exchanges bound to be interesting as Ambrose O'Donovan kicks it across towards Timmy Fleming's wing. Comes away from Brendan McKiernan, however. Greg Blaney finding it down left-footed. Held out there by Tom Spillane, picked up by Stephen Stack, making progress there against James McCartan. Fisted out by DJ Kane, who seemed to injure himself. This was reaching over the head of Pat Spillane that time. Now Barry Breen. A probing ball inside towards Mickey Linden. It's fisted away from Mickey Linden, and it's gone out for the first 45 of the match for Down. And Kieran Colhan doesn't look the fittest of players just at the moment. Not requiring attention. Gary Mason ready to take this 45. James McCartan just doing a little bit of pushing. I think he may have been pushed himself prior to that. Stephen Stack was the player he was having a little word with. Mason. Oh, just get inside the left-hand post. No. So one wide apiece. Attention, by the way, at the moment has been given to DJ Kane right in the middle of the field. He really felt that shoulder after he reached in over Pat Spillane to punch one of the last Kerry attacks away. Pete McGrath with a concerned look at his face. DJ Kane, who's a PE teacher in Lagan College, what I'm told is the first officially integrated college in Northern Ireland. So the Down fans then giving vent to their emotions, trying to cheer on their team to what they hope will be a place in this year's All-Ireland football final. Charlie Nelligan, what looks like being a very tight and highly competitive second half. Let's hope it's a great one. Mason. Down towards Mickey Linden, who's moved in from the right-hand side. Gathered, however. And Kieran Culhane ready to clear his lines, or perhaps he'll leave it for Charlie Nelligan to kick from the ground. Having to get to grips, of course, with the threat posed by Mickey Linden.
Well, in Ulster down, of course, isolated their full forward line and put in a lot of long balls, which they should be able to do with the wind here.
O'Mahony, securely taken. Misdirected with the left boot. John Kelly watched it all the way. McCartan just managing to touch it down to the inrushing Greg Blenny. An opening here, Whitnell. Linden's available, comes finally off the legs of Culhane. Charlie Nelligan winning the race. Mickey Linden showing his pace to just get there. And in the end, the umpire decides it goes off Charlie Nelligan, but the referee in any case has signalled that there was a push in the back by Mickey Linden on Charlie Nelligan, and the outcome's going to be a free out for Kerry.
Again, a goal chance for Down, which they have spurned, and that's about the fifth they've had in this match.
Listed down by Barry Breen. He's off the legs of Donald Line. McCartan against Stack. Well, he's a tenacious player. It runs on nicely for Whitnell, the goal scorer. Outside for Gary Mason, and after all that hard work they finally produce a score. McCartan who set it up, Whitnell involved as well, and the final kick coming in from Mason. So the sides level once more.
And James McCartan showing how dangerous he is, because when he gets running at a defence it's very hard to stop. Peter Whitnell puts it out to Gary Mason and he taps it over. But the wind seems to have got quite a bit stronger at the interval, and the ball has now got dry, so it will be much easier for forwards.
They reach for possession. I think it was Lyon who prodded that one on, but only as far as DJ Kane was feeling a right leg just now. Meanwhile, James McCartan tried to get the measure of Pat Spillane. Well, would you believe pulling his leg, or Tom Spillane. And Tom and James McCartan don't look the happiest. Hopefully Tommy Howard realising that a good talking will be quite sufficient. An all-star from last year when he really burst on the scene in exciting fashion. Down reached the league final last year, remember, against Meath. Pat Spillane held well by John Cronin. Full back on the Kerry minor team 12 months ago. Pat Spillane saw that one come off the legs of Barry Breen. It's a good decision. Linesman was well positioned. Spillane kicks. Well, not the most distinguished kick he's made so far this afternoon. Paul Higgins will kick it in towards Gary Mason. Nicely fetched back there. Burke. And Sean Burke wins the free for Kerry. Mason making no attempt to play it. Conor Deegan coming across to claim this one. Read it well. Mason again taking up a good position. By Sean Burke. Delivered across towards James McCarthy, who's switched positions. Noel O'Mahony defiantly drives it out of the Kerry defence. Coming off the legs of Paul Higgins. Down for Ross Carr. Seemed to push his way forward that time. The referee says play away. Gary Mason. Nicely into the corner to Barry Breen. Right on the end line, trying to set up a scoring chance for Linden, or perhaps Gary Mason. And taken down on the 20-metre line by Sean Burke, the right half back, operating for much of the game right in the centre. Had a spell in the Limerick game as a Kerry full back, and that was largely an unhappy afternoon for the Kerry rearguard. Remember, the teams are level. Charlie Nelligan calling out the instructions, making absolutely sure that Gary Mason doesn't try to sneak a goal here. And Mason is content to tap it over and give down the lead once more. His second score in what's a very tense and exciting All-Ireland football semi-final. The Down fans, many of them on the edges of their seats it seems. There's a long way to go. We're only in the 10th minute of the second half. It's been a long time since a team from Ulster managed to beat a team from either Munster or Leinster in the semi-final. And down to that this afternoon. Will Kerry get there once again? John Cronin. Dispossessed by Conor Deegan. The race for possession here. Won by Whitnell. Belted it forward. Linden reading his intentions. Kept in place somehow. McCartan. Whitnell's waiting inside. It's stopped however by Comspellan. Good shoulder coming in by Peter Whitnell. And the referee's going in. He doesn't see it as a good fair shoulder because it may not have been shoulder to shoulder. It's going to be a free in, and Kerry need to bring in their trainer quickly to attend to the injured defender. That looks like Stephen Stack down there.
Well, the down defence are pulling the Kerry backs all over the place. When the ball comes in, Stephen Stack comes out and picks it up, and he's met with the shoulder by Peter Whitnell. It's fair enough, shoulder to shoulder, but the referee deems it to be a free out, even though he seemed to hit him properly.
Stack happily back on his feet. Stephen Stack, who first figured in the Kerry defence as a wing-back, making his debut in the championship against Tipperary 5 years ago. 5 years on, this is the most important match in his career, the All-Ireland semi-final. Taken by Brendan McKiernan in a match which is getting more and more physical as it develops. As Fitzgerald is moving out of the way as that free is taken. Reaching Mickey Linden. Kicking ambitiously. A bit wayward in his finishing.
Down going through a very good patch in terms of possession, but not putting it on the scoreboard.
Down by Mason. Pursued by Paddy O'Rourke. Won again by Greg Laney. Oops. Referee just stepping in quickly. I'm sure that nothing developed too much as James McCartan complains about that last challenge there on Greg Blaney. The referee is having the word with James McCartan himself, more or less saying that I'm the boss and I'll run the affairs here. He may well have given a free to Down, but he's now cancelled and it's going to be a throw ball. Burns and O'Mahony, the players involved. Barry Breen loses it to Sean Burke. And that's going to be a down ball. Pat Spillane is the lone attacker by Kerry all this while as Down maintain the pressure, and it's Paul Higgins to belt it forward towards Whitnell. One again here. Dom O'Line, the half-time substitute. O'Mahony. But tackled very late. It's going to be a free from where the ball lands. The challenge there was by Ross Carr, I think.
Silly thing to do there, because it puts Kerry into a very good attacking position when Conor Deegan was getting ready to clear the ball from the down backs.
Meanwhile, it's being kicked into the centre, and yet another free kick results. Jimmy Fleming looking on, explaining it away as a perfectly legitimate tackle on his part. Referee not impressed. The free kick's now mounting up, and this is going to be free kick number 37. 14 for Down, 23 for Kerry. Brendan McKiernan plays with the Burren club that's enjoyed great success at club level during the last couple of years, in the 80s in particular, winning 2 All-Ireland club titles. Higgins with the free. Touchdown, Jack O'Shea getting onto it quickly. 45 metres out from his own goal. Not allowed the freedom. The Down players say, why should they allow him any latitude? Jack gratefully accepts the free kick. Belted towards John Cronin. Paddy O'Rourke now back in the full back line, it seems, on the left-hand side of that line. Burns sweeping it inside to Gary Mason, pursued by Sean Burke. Having to go back on his own 45-metre line, where he's challenged for possession by Maurice Fitzgerald unfairly. Rapidly takes the free to Kane. Positions meaning very, very little in terms of the old style of Gaelic football. Line. Good run forward towards Pat Spillane, isolated up front, remember, and he's done well to make a fine catch against Conor Deegan. So a rare chance then for Kerry, simply executed, and another point for Pat Spillane. They left just one man forward, marked by Deegan. He made a magnificent catch in front of an attendance of 40,166, and that's the position.
With Down having so much pressure, they're likely to get caught with everybody pushing forward, and Pat Spillane being left isolated up there is fairly dangerous from a Down point of view.
That's well fielded, but then dropped and recovered again by Ambrose O'Donovan to Noel O'Mahony. What a terrific battle it's turned out to be in midfield. A rip-roaring semi-final, tactically so interesting. But who's to get through? Sides level at the moment with 16 minutes gone in the second half. Line the free taker. Whipping it forward beyond Deegan again. Goes back, recovers. Showing his pace and tight control against John Cronin. Into the middle towards Breen. Touched on. Anticipated well by Whitnell. Played forward towards Barry Breen again. Deciding to go for a point himself. It drops well short. I think he was in between two minds when he was launching that attack. He looked around to see was there anybody in support and then hit it, but hit it far too weakly. The initiative seized by Kerry again. O'Mahony. Dennehy beaten for it. Kane. Not held in play by Eamon Burns. Linesman perfectly positioned.
Barry Breen had a great chance there to give him down the lead. He kicked a great point against Donegal in the Ulster final from a similar position, but that time left it very much short.
Fisted down by Deegan against Pat Spillane. And a shoulder from Deegan on Spillane. So it's McKiernan across the line to Kelly. Read well by Morgan Nix. Space at a premium there against Ross Carr, Greg Blaney, and forced into carrying the ball out over the far sideline. But the referee was whistling and didn't like the nature of the down challenge. So Nix wins himself the free. Belted towards Jack O'Shea, held by Paddy O'Rourke. There was some holding the referee saw by a down defender. And so Paddy O'Rourke and his fellow defenders under some pressure once again. Maurice Fitzgerald going across to take the kick. So virtually a 45-metre free. So midway through the second half, in a tight and tense football semi-final, can Fitzgerald give Kerry the advantage again? Held splendidly back there, lost, and put over the bar. Or is it? No, it's gone wide, it's gone wide. Pat Spillane somehow saw that one come down off the fingertips of the down defender.
Maurice Fitzgerald's free dropped short and was collected in there by Paul Higgins, who was robbed by Pat Spillane on the way out. But the referee had given a free out even before he kicked it wide.
Ambrose O'Donovan ballooning it across on this near side, fisted on by Sean Burke towards Jack O'Shea. With a fair bit of work to do to try and keep that ball in play. Paul Higgins in no particular hurry to take the sideline kick. Towards Breen. Ambrose O'Donovan does well. Barry Breen injured. Meanwhile, fed forward to Maurice Fitzgerald, who's got a gap. Fitzgerald going forward, closed down now by Higgins. Off balance as he hit it, and it's gone off the defender for a 45. Kerry's first 45 of the match. Down had one in the first half.
A very good movement for Kerry. Ball coming in from Ambrose O'Donovan, switched into Maurice Fitzgerald, and the whole middle opened up in front of him. John Cronin was coming in from the left-hand side here, and he should have given him the ball. Instead of that, he kicks and it's half blocked and goes out for a 50.
Barry Breen, I think, was injured in that last little bit of action in midfield. I remember there were two down men competing there with Ambrose O'Donovan. Somehow O'Donovan managed to sweep the ball forward. A thirsty afternoon. Leo Griffin there in the background, long time associated with many fine and great Kerry teams. Noel O'Mahony, fine player in his own right, and so many of these young players, I suppose, having to live with the comparisons of the legends of the past 10 years, and it's going to necessitate a little bit of on-field treatment for Barry Breen.
Barry Breen was the meat in a sandwich there of Ambrose O'Donovan coming in from behind. But Down have lost the grip on the game that they had for the early part of the second half, and Kerry have come back very well. But Maurice Fitzgerald free taking hasn't been as good as usual. Only for that they would be a couple of points in front now.
So the running repairs have been done to Barry Breen. It looks a curious sight. So just under a quarter of an hour remaining, and Maurice Fitzgerald's come out to take this 45. 5 points was his tally at half-time. He hasn't managed to add to that so far. This is a very important kick. And it comes down off the upright. Timmy Fleming feeding it back. And Pa Dennehy sees it come off the upright yet again. How unlucky can you get? Twice they hit the upright.
This must be about the 5th or 6th time that Kerry have hit the woodwork. Great kick by Maurice Fitzgerald. Comes down off the post, and Timmy Fleming was sort of being fouled there, gives the ball back, and Pat Dennehy does the right thing in the circumstances in trying to punch it over the bar, but hits the post.
Back live, Whitnell trying to steal inside against Tom Spillane. Spillane doing well against Linden and Whitnell, but he's lost it, and the referee says it was an unfair steal. And very shortly it seems that Liam Austin will be introduced into the Down team. He can yet be a very influential figure in their midfield. The kick to the centre. Kelly keeping it away from Timmy Fleming. Denied possession by Maurice Fitzgerald, but the referee signals yet another free kick. They've had far too many free kicks really in the second half.
Ross Carr has taken this one because Gary Mason has put a couple wide from this side.
We might as well go back to Gary Mason, it seems. Meanwhile, it's Greg Blaney settling on his left foot. Terrific tension, and this man, I'm sure, is listening in. Liam Austin is coming in with a little slip of paper, and the player who's making his way off is Eamon Burns. So Austin, the great campaigner down the years, replaced by Pete McGrath. Into the centre of the field, Austin's in there and Burns is gone. McKiernan taken securely by DJ Kane. It's hard tackling, as we said earlier. It really has got particularly physical in the second half. A reminder that the sides are still level with 10 minutes to go. Down 1-5, Kerry 8 points. So under the shadow of the Hogan stand, it's Gary Mason who's won back the job of taking the frees from the left-hand side. Invitingly in, securely gathered by Tom Spillane, punted out in a race for possession, which James McCartan is over there against John Cronin. Stack fed forward to Ambrose O'Donovan against Barry Breen. Touched away somehow by Mason. Recovered by Sean Burke. Nola Mahoney. Ambrose O'Donovan. Kerry looking for a lead point. Belted forward towards John Cronin. And Cronin commits the foul. Paul Higgins, the taker. DJ Kane. Ross Carr. It's been quite a while now since we had that last point, that last one coming in from Pat Spillane for Kerry to level up the match. Now Jack O'Shea. Nola Mahoney. To a Kerry side with just 1 point to show for the second half so far. Dispossessed by Barry Breen. The wounded hero. Was the 23rd free of the second half, and we've had 50 in all as Linden raids. White, Jack O'Shea kicking, and he's put it over the bar. Mickey Linden brings the stadium to life once again. The flags flying proudly up on Hill 16, down in the Hogan stand, across in the Cusack stand as well from Mickey Linden's fine kick. 1-6 to 8 points, down, go in front.
Well, Kerry were on the attack there and had a chance of a point, but the ball is quickly transferred down to Linden, who is the one down forward that Kerry are not able to handle all day, and again off his left foot, which is his weaker foot. He kicks a great time to put down in front.
Kerry making a change. David Farrell has come on in place of John Cronin in the attack. Farrell, who did well, I thought, in the opening match of Kerry's campaign against Clare in Munster, didn't play in the game against Cork. So now, Barry Breen, hoping that that last goal will give down the necessary injection as Whitnell is through in the clear. The shot, it's a goal! A second goal for Peter Whitnell. They were surely inspired by that last point by Mickey Linden. Neil Collins telling everybody to cool it down. We're not there yet, but that goal has given down a tremendous lead. 2-6 to 8 points, a lead of 4 points. What a great goal that was after 28 minutes of the second half.
Well, this could be the goal that puts down into the All-Ireland final. Barry Breen does very well in the middle of the field, and Mickey Linden does well to hold off the Kerry back and puts in Whitnell, and again he makes no mistake from there.
Conor Deegan, and surely the Kerry team now will show what they're made of once again. Surely they'll come with a late flurry, but only 1 point to show for the second half, that by Pat Spillane. Liam Austin putting in the challenge unfairly against Nola Mahoney, so it's going to be a Kerry free. Jack O'Shea is going to take this one. Maurice Fitzgerald's in around the house. Punted in. Ambrose O'Donovan putting in the challenge. Over there against Paddy O'Rourke, the down captain. Is he to captain them on All-Ireland final day? Conor Deegan, back to O'Rourke. A player O'Rourke who made his debut in the down senior colours and championship level, playing in the 1978 All-Ireland semi-final against Dublin. Now it's Pat Spillane again. Pursued by James McCartan. Referee signals that it's going to be a Kerry free. Quickly taken by Spillane. Sean Burke had made the run, but he couldn't contain the pass. So a real backs to the wall situation for Pat Spillane and his colleagues. Against a wind which has dropped a little in the second half. It's Neil Collins and the down team who are listening to the fans now, singing in Croke Park, the cheering ringing in the down ears. Greg Blaney makes it secure against Timmy Fleming. Mason, 5 minutes to go. Whitnell, the goal scorer. The two-goal hero looking for a third. He's satisfied to tap it over. Peter Whitnell with 2 goals and a point now, a super display. Well, we talked about the Ross Carrs and the Greg Blaneys and the Mickey Lindens and the James McCartans in the build-up to this. We barely mentioned Peter Whitnell. Well, what a contribution he's made. 2-1 out of 2-7.
The long ball that Down have played so well for the whole year, again causing problems for the Kerry defence. Whitnell getting it under pressure, but gets up and breaks clear. And when he comes in, he could have gone for a goal, but wisely decides just to tap it over. And Charlie Nelligan following through catches him and gets injured in the process.
Scenes reminiscent of the early 60s. Remember 1960 when they beat Kerry in the final. 1961 beat Kerry in the semi-final. Won the final against Offaly. 1968 won that final against Kerry as well. They have a 100% championship record against the Kingdom, and they're looking good right now. Peter Whitnell wants to go off, I think, signalling his intentions that sub should be brought on. Just under 4 minutes to go. Ambrose O'Donovan, can Kerry yet save the day? Behind by 5 points. DJ Crane going back, making it safe and secure. Chipping it neatly across to Brendan McKiernan. McCartan was reaching out for it, but Blaney gets onto it fast. Good secure build-up play. Whitnell looks recovered in there in the middle of that little movement. Ross Carr now. 2 points so far in this game for him. Taking it back from Mickey Linden. A very confident-looking down team have gone into a fine lead, and it's Ross Carr who's kicked the 3rd point of the afternoon. And I note that Ambrose Rogers is coming in. So just about 3 minutes to go. Rogers has come in. Whitnell has gone off, but he made a great contribution to a fine down performance. So two players who carried down teams through the 80s, largely unsuccessful years, Liam Austin and Ambrose Rogers, in sharing in what looks like a glory day for down football. Well, they've taken over Dublin, or seem to take over Dublin, the down fans, for the semi-final. What will it be like in a final? Craig Blaney onto it again. McCartan. His dad, of course, part of the down teams in the early 60s. Line. Through into the centre. Barry Breen giving nothing away lightly. The referee just making sure that it stays nice and cool. There's only 2 minutes still to go. Frustration, I think, creeping in a little bit from a Kerry point of view. Remember, they led at half-time by 7 points to 1-3 for Down. But it's been a very good and steady display by Down. Have kicked a goal and 5 points in the second half against just 1 point for Kerry. Some pushing back there. Referee signalling that it's going to be a Kerry free. The push, I think, by Ambrose Rogers. Charlie in a right hurry now, but it's going to take a large miracle to turn this one round for Kerry. 6 points the difference. 1 minute to go. For so many years, Munster teams and Leinster teams lorded it over the Ulster champions, but this Down team came here with fine credentials, under a little bit of pressure now, but they'll confidently soak it up, I'm sure, as James McCartan comes back to add the weight of numbers. Ambrose Rogers on towards Mickey Linden, looking for another score against Culhane, trying to dart inside, looking for support, and Culhane concedes the free kick, which will embellish surely a fine performance and a great afternoon for these Down fans.
The strength of the Down forward line, I think, has been the key to the game. They have been able to pull the Kerry backs around, and they've created a lot of goal chances, and they've only taken 2 out of about 6. If they're a bit sharper, they could have had 3 or 4 goals.
Down fans will be concerned to see just how serious the injury to Peter Whitnell is, as Ross Carr kicks. Ross Carr scores. He's got 4 points this afternoon. Linden got 2, Whitnell got 2 goals and a point, and Gary Mason got 2 points. We're in injury time. The long wait, I think, is over. 1968, the last time Down reached the final. Kerry have never, of course, beaten Down in the championship. But they have a late chance here now, and it's Maurice Fitzgerald coming through. Comes off the legs of Paul Higgins. Nothing going Kerry's way. Deegan. Carr. Liam Austin punting it down towards Ambrose Rogers. Away from the down man by Tom Spillane. It seems it's only a matter of time as Gary Mason kicks. But maybe a last gasp chance. They did well against Armagh. They had to play Derry twice. They beat Donegal very convincingly. And now they look to be well on their way. The referee calling, it seems, to the ball as James McCartan kicking. The referee's whistle, it's all over. Down reached the All-Ireland final. Paddy O'Rourke will captain his team on the 3rd Sunday in September against either Meath or Roscommon. 2 dramatic goals by Peter Whitnell, 1 after 10 minutes, 1 after 28. Enough to secure Down's passage. The Mourne Mountains, I'm sure, will hear the sound of Down football fans for the next couple of weeks, preparing for their final entry. The final score Down, 2 goals and 9 points. Kerry, 8 points. Peter Whitnell, the wounded hero, delighted.